So I've got Darren on as well. Darren's a good mate of mine, even though he's from South Australia. Some of those South Australian guys are a bit dodgy, but Darren is been involved with cryptocurrency for quite a number of years. He saw a lot of things happen back in 2017, some good, some bad, some absolutely phenomenal. And from that point, he's gone into the digital assets area and also digital blockchaining concepts and doing a lot of digital solutions for companies and CRMs and all that technical stuff I know absolutely nothing about. So welcome, Darren. It's great to see you on the call tonight.
Good evening, Andrew. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So Darren's got a great team of very, very highly educated professionals that he works with, and they work for him as well. So I'm going to hand over the floor to you, Darren, and you can explain a little bit about you, cryptocurrency, blockchain, and what is going on to tokenizing assets.
I might just share my screen and put a little presentation together just to help everyone in the room, so just bear with me.
Yep.
I like to think of myself as the least intelligent person of a really smart team. We've got a really good team of guys, been working the digital space for probably about 13 years. Met my partner about 7 or 8 years ago, and we started building software, and probably the last couple of years we've really started to spend more time in that blockchain space. I think there's lots of opportunities in that space at the moment with the tech, and that's what I want to talk a little bit about tonight. Is more so the tech that's behind the cryptocurrencies, because I think it has a lot of application in the market space. So I just up on the screen there, I just want to talk about the basics of blockchain. I'm not sure if everyone understands how the blockchain works, so I'll just spend like a minute or two just to explain that. That might just help someone on the line. I want to talk about some of the use cases, because I think there's a lot of use case for the blockchain or distributed ledger technology out there, and some of the adoptions for the future. So it's really exciting times for blockchain. And I'm not sure if anyone on the call knows this guy, Patrick Byrne. He is using blockchain at the moment to solve a lot of problems, including corruption. He's actually taking some of the technology over to Africa at the moment. I would highly recommend you go and research this interview. It's about 48 minutes. It's thoroughly worth happening. Blockchain, really, the revolution of blockchain really is happening right now. The technology out in the market space is changing the way we do business, and it is going to change the way we do business in years to come. Just think, over the last few thousand years, we've really been centralized with everything we do, whether it be government, whether it be institutions, third-party institutions have always interrupted or been in the middle of being able to partake in a transaction of some kind. Well, this technology, the blockchain technology, allows us to decentralize, and it really changes the way we do business moving forward. And I'll explain a little bit about what he's doing in a short while. But let's just go through the basics of a blockchain. So really, if we want to transact, and I've got a couple of little drawings there on how we would do it. So if I want to send some money, a transaction happens, it creates a little block. The block then is then broadcast out to everyone in the network, or the nodes that are there out in the network. The node then looks at that transaction, and then if they all agree, they then attach the block, and the transaction is complete. So that's sort of the basics of an everyday blockchain. So I'll do it from a transaction perspective. Say I want to send, say Andrew's on the left and me on the, Andrew's on the right, me on the left. Normally we want to send some money to each other. We would have a bank in the middle. Well, the blockchain gives us the ability to Andrew to send me the money without having a third party in the middle. So it really is a useful technology, and cryptocurrency really is just one of the many use cases that the blockchain does offer. So I love it because it allows us to build communities, local communities, build communities out there that are decentralized. It allows, there's lots of peer-to-peer applications out there to be able to support the communities. There's lots of developers, there's opportunities for developers to build this technology. And like I was saying, there's more than one use other than cryptocurrencies. So let's just look at like the blockchain, I call it the blockchain evolution at the moment. I know Ed and the team talk about it from a cryptocurrency perspective. It was probably about 2015-16 when I first looked at the industry and looked at it from a cryptocurrency perspective. But the technology has changed a lot. I remember coming into 2017, 18, there was companies out there who were building the tech out, and then a lot of them have left. There is obviously a lot who have now taken their tech also and into where we are at the moment in 2020-21, where it's really evolved. But I really still think we're in the growth phase from a technology perspective. There's lots of companies out there who are starting to build the technology out and utilizing blockchain. Still a little bit confusing for some people. But the technology is starting to come out into everyday use, and I'll go through some of the use cases in a minute. But I still think we're a few years away from it being at its maturity from the technology perspective, but it really is disruptive and changing where we're going at the moment, blockchain. So let's just talk about some of the use cases. Now, I'll start with just some of the cryptocurrencies. Like I'm just going to talk top 10, top 11, and there's some really good use cases for cryptocurrency companies. I'm going to talk a bit about supply chain, real estate, and document storage, and then I'll just show you some of the other use cases. Obviously, we all know about Ethereum. I look at Ethereum really like the Windows or the Apple platform for cryptocurrencies. It obviously allows us to build technology on top of there, and they also have the ability to have their own cryptocurrencies as well. Currency, I should say. Polkadot, open source, allows data, cross-chain transfer of data and assets. Cardano is another one, top 10 company. We've also got Litecoin. I love Litecoin. I'm a really big fan of Litecoin. Low cost payment and a great technology. I really like it. Chainlink, obviously there's been lots of talk about Chainlink recently and with their price rises, and even Stellar. So top 11 companies, there's 6 really good use cases of their technology right there. But I'm just going to move outside of the cryptocurrencies into the world of something as simple as supply chains. Let's talk about the ability to be able to know where your food came from. Let's talk about your health and the supply of just general things out in the market space. Wouldn't it be great if you could go to Woolworths and know exactly where your food was grown using one of those and using a Q code? And that is where blockchain is becoming very useful. Straight from the farmer all the way through to the producer, the distributor, and the retail. And you have the ability to use a Q code and follow the supply chain of everything that's happened with the goods, service, product that you have bought, all stored on the blockchain. And you know exactly where your food has come from, the time it was grown. Everything is stored there inside the blockchain. And I think we're going to see this more and more moving forward, the use of blockchain and when it comes to our food and supply chains as we move forward. I think that's a big one. I've had a couple of conversations with people about real estate, even as early as this week. I think the real estate is really in for a massive disruption over the next couple of years. And I know Andrew and I've had this conversation. What people don't realize is Patrick Byrne, for example, he is looking to put all of real estate over in some of the African countries straight to the blockchain. So you'll literally be able to take your phone, hit with a Q code, and you'll be able to purchase the property without having a middleman in the middle. That's coming to the Western world, I think, in the next few years, could be 5 to 10 years, but it's coming. So those in the real estate industry, I believe, need to start to have a look at, otherwise they're going to get left behind. I truly believe that this is a big disruptor for the real estate industry. Because let's just have a look at something as simple as buying a house at the moment. Your normal supply chain would be, you would have a buyer, you have all the professionals that sit in the middle, the lawyers, the brokers, the insurance agents, everything else that you need in the middle. And then obviously you have the seller at the other end. Something as simple as using the Ethereum network, there's other networks inside or other blockchains that you could utilize where everything can be used in smart contract, and Alice could work with Bob and sell the house like that on the blockchain without having a middleman. Now that's a massive disruption to the market for that industry, the real estate industry, just there. And that can all be done with the blockchain. There's already companies at the moment that are using it for rentals. I've seen some of that on the Gold Coast already, where rental companies are getting the agents are getting their tenants to sign their contracts and that through utilizing the blockchain. So it's already here. It's only a matter of time before the actual sales of real estate is done through the blockchain here in Australia and around the world. I think the next couple of years is going to be a massive disruption to that in that market. Now, something as simple as documents as well. There's a number of companies that are supplying that at the moment. Really good for things like courts and lawyers and things like that, where they need to know exactly what's happened with a document, who's signed it, who's seen it, who's actioned it. Even in the health industry, doctors, medical, insurance, to know exactly what's happened with a document and when someone's seen it, time and date stamped. I think the documents on the blockchain, there's companies out there doing it now already. I think there's a massive need for that as well. And a few more, there's stacks of use cases that are available. Obviously, cryptocurrency exchanges like Daxi, like the crowdfunding platform that Daxi are putting together, really excited about the things that Ed has put together in the team. Obviously, Andrew's talked a lot about Singapore and the trading platform, and they're putting everything onto the blockchain. Supply chains we've talked about, payments. There's so many different use cases for the blockchain moving forward. And I think it's really going to disrupt the market. And if companies don't start to look at where they could utilize the blockchain in the market moving forward, I think some companies are going to get left behind. And I really think has that ability to cut out, I don't want to use that word, but I call it corruption. There's corruption in the market and third parties that get greedy in the middle. I think it has the ability to make it really fair to be able to trade and transact between buyer A and buyer B for lots of different markets. So I'm really excited about where the blockchain market is going. Future adoption, like I say, decentralization, it's immutable. It has high security, easy tracking of information, and no third-party interference. And you only have to look at things like what's happening with social media, voting, lots of different things happening right before our eyes at the moment. And there's companies that are bringing out the ability so that we can't have social media taken down or videos being taken down, so that our information that we want to store and make available is there. And blockchain is helping a variety of industries do that. So just a quick conclusion, I think for me, blockchain is the future of technology moving forward. The use cases are growing. There's billions of dollars that have been put into the market. The investment's high into different blockchain projects. The revolution is here and the tsunami is coming. There's billions invested into the tech. And I just think we're getting started. And I think given that the tech is being increased and improved, I think that then is going to see the cryptocurrency side of things improve as well. And as the companies start to grow out their tech, I only see the future is rosy for both crypto and blockchain for me. So hopefully that helps someone there. Back to you, Andrew.
Wow, I do like that slide that showed all the potentiality of blockchain problem solving. Literally everything we touch, taste, smell, see is going to be blockchain in some way, shape or form. And we are all going to be actively using that. 2 years ago, it was very hard to explain to someone how to use a QR code. But now everyone is acutely aware of exactly what a QR code is, and the information that's stored within that QR code is accessible. And your company and other companies like you are allowing consumers like us to have their products, their technology more accessible and more transparent. And I thank you for your expertise and what your company's doing to allow customers access that information that we are going to demand, because we want to know what's going on with every part of our life. And I think transparency is number one. And so thank you very much, Darren. It's great to have you on, and you did a great presentation. I'm looking forward to watching the recording of that section as well. There's some good information there. So thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. Thank you.